G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. Isn't the Banish Misfortune a great tune? We're going to take a look at a fingerstyle arrangement on the guitar here in this lesson. We're in the key of D, our guitar is tuned to DADGAD. We'll get to all that in a moment. We're going to take a look at part A of the lesson here. It's a 3-part tune, A, B and C, so we'll have a look at part A here. If you head over to pickinglessons.com, you're able to get yourself a copy of the tab that we're working from, plus the next 2 lessons for part B and C of the tune. We also have a play-along track there you can download as well, so pickinglessons.com. All right, let's jump straight on into a slow playthrough of part A, and then we'll break down the tuning, the techniques, and the time signature that we're using. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and Okay, so that was part A, nice and slow. We're in the key of D. We'll break down these techniques, but the first thing we need to do is check our tuning. So we're not in standard tuning for this one. We're in the key of D and we're playing it in DADGAD tuning or open D sus4 tuning. What it gives us is that sound there. So the notes from string 6, we have a D, so down to a D. Our A and D strings stay the same, as does our G. Then our second string, normally a B, is down to an A, and then our last string, which is usually the E, is tuned down to a D. So taking them all down, these 3 strings, D, A and D. So we end up with D, A, D, G, A, D, or DADGAD. So once you're in that tuning, you'll be right to go. Let's have a look at what's happening through here. We're in 6/8 time, so we're playing a jig, 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 pulses per measure divided into 3 eighth notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2 and Now that's our 6/8 time signature. We've got a lot of ornamentation in here through the arrangement, so that's something we really want to have a look at. Let's just jump into the first couple of measures. Let's have a look at the techniques that we're using here. So focusing more on melody to begin with that low D string opening up. This hammer-on for our pickup, they're 16th notes. So as we're counting in, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and. There are 2 pickup notes. Then we're straight into a hammer-on here. And this is a grace note hammer-on. We need to play it really quick. So straight in, once we pick that string, our 3rd finger hammers down onto the 4th fret there. So we're not spending any time on that 2nd fret. So as we move into the first beat, 4, 5, 6, 1, we have that hammer on. Straight up into a triplet hammer on pull off in the middle of the first beat. 1, 2, 3. So to get the timing for that one, what we want to work on is just a nice smooth hammer on pull off flick back to the open string. Hammer on, flick, flick. And we're fitting it inside the middle of that first beat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So working on that nice and slow will help. Up a little bit quicker. To that next note there. Now while we're on the 2nd beat, just measure out those 8th notes. 4, 5 and 6. Pick up note through the first measure. We'll just run that a couple of times. The timing is really important and we have some tricky techniques. The hammer on and pull off, just make sure you're firm with your flick and your hammer on. This is a more advanced tune, so you should be able to hammer on and pull off. So here we go, just practice the timing. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. 4, 5, 6. Okay, moving on to measure 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just watch the timing, but that's pretty straightforward. Measure 3. Here we're opening with a tap in your left hand. So we're tapping onto that 4th fret, the F sharp there. So we don't want to pick that one, we're going to tap it. Our thumb will then play that low 6th string on the 3rd count of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll put these together in a moment. Let's just jump through to the fourth measure. So the fourth measure, we start out with another tap, but we're also going to include a slide. This is a tricky technique, so we're going to tap, slide straight up as a sort of a really quick grace note. So we're going to land on fret 3, move straight into fret 4 as we tap. So we're tapping onto the string and we're sliding as a grace note really quickly. In context, you'll get a little bit more volume out of it. I'll just play from the previous measure. So coming into measure 4 there with that tap and the slide, then we play the rhythm here. We're going to hold on to that first note, and a little bit later, so it'll be 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then straighten out those eighth notes. Let's just run into measure 4 from measure 3. So measure 3 and 1. So tricky little bit of timing, tricky couple of techniques in there as well. Do spend some time on working these up. As our tempo increases, you really want to be solid on them. Let's just run back slowly from the beginning. We'll include our pickup note up to that end of the fourth measure. 4, 5, 6. There. So take your time, listen closely to how to interpret that rhythm, work on the strength of the hammer-ons, the slides, the pull-offs. It's all part of what's making this tune sound the way it is, all those articulations in there, all the ornamentation. It's really important. Okay, let's pick it up from measure 5. It's a nice easy one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, measure 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to hold on to notes as long as you can when they're longer too, like that chord there from the C measure, measure 5, holding onto the 3rd fret. It's tied over the next measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, switch. There at the end. Closing out these final 2 measures. Up note to get us back on the repeat. We do play this section twice. So kicking it off there, it's very much like the beginning actually, although we're playing string 4 with our low bass note and a grace note hammer on, triplet pull off, back to that open string. This shape here for our C chord, 3rd fret, 3rd finger there. Just pull off the 3rd finger, open strings, have another tap there, so left hand tap. So the last 2 measures, nice and slow. 4, 5, 6. You'll find as tempo increases and when we pick it up a little bit, those left-hand taps will become a little bit more substantial in their volume. It's okay that they're a little soft when you're practicing slow. It's kind of the nature of the technique. But do try and keep them really clean, so really accurate with that finger as it lands on the string. Do practice it nice and slow, string it all together, work on those little sections independently as well. So maybe just the opening section. Just to work on that timing, because as we increase the tempo, it does get a little trickier to play. So do really watch that. Being accurate with the taps there. So just working on the little sections there can certainly help. But make sure you are practicing these techniques nice and clean and at a slower tempo so that you can bring them up as you get to know it. Okay, so if you head to pickinglessons.com, we will check out part B and part C of this tune. We'll break it down and look again at the techniques. A little bit of variation in both of the next 2 sections in terms of the way we approach it. So certainly do want to break the techniques down. Okay, so pickinglessons.com, I'll see you there.